6:04, Wednesday, November 6th, 2019. Calling the Lakeville Board of Health meeting to order. Is there anyone recording this other than Lake Cam and the Lakeville Board of Health? I see no one. First on the agenda, 31 Stetson Street. Meet with Derek Maxey. Discuss well.
Mr. Chairman, Board, Derek Maxey from 1 Cedarberry Lane, but this is in reference to 1 Stetson Street. I'm just going to hand out a quick kind of outline that I put together. That way if I miss anything. So my purpose here is just to talk about, I guess, more or less trying to get a well installed on a piece of property that I have. And in hindsight, didn't realize how difficult it is to get a well guy certain times of the year, especially towards the end of the summer season when they're all tied up. But in talking with, so I had submitted a plan approximately in May for a septic design with a well location, and the septic, I believe, is approved subject to the well test coming in for potable water. Correct. Kevin, just correct me if I. And so the question is, one, I wasn't sure if it was a regulation or a policy. I know I've talked to other towns and things like that, and one of the things that Lakeville requires is a deep well versus a shallow well. Plymouth, a lot of these other towns, they go either way, whether it's deep or shallow. So that limits your well guy at that level as well, because now you got to pick the guy that does the deep wells. And ironically, today I actually received a text from the guy that's going to install my well, saying he's going to start it probably next week because the house he was going to do this week burnt down. So it's just kind of one of those, not a good thing, but I guess it was good for me. But I went through several well guys to find I could get a guy that I could get on a schedule. And in my particular case, I mean, the big thing was waiting for a contractor. And now I'm at a point where I'm thinking, well, you know, I do have 2 lots there. Do I do the second well now, just while I got the guy there, just so it's done, which I think is probably a good idea, because it just, you know, this 6 or 7 or 8 months waiting time just is too much. And in my case, I did bring a plan. It's really not that relevant, but I have guys scheduled that are going to do the septic install. It would be nice if they could get the leaching field in now, because that's going to be the way the lot is kind of narrow. They got the leaching field's beyond the house, which is beyond the well. So every time you go in and out of trucks, the well's going to be right there in the middle where they're trying to turn around and stuff. So I was hoping months ago to try to at least get the leaching field done. Yeah, you can see it on this plan here because I've got a canal and stuff here. So, and the driveway comes in right next to the well. So that was just, you know, hindsight is like, geez, I got a guy that's willing to do the leach field. Can I get it started now and get it out of the way? Of course, you can't do that until the well tests come in. So I guess my first question is this a bylaw or policy, or I know it's not a state regulation because the other towns are allowed to do other things, and I didn't ask Kevin for a copy of that, so I don't know.
I can answer that. It's the only thing we have for a regulation was somebody has it, 18.2. So the only thing we have for a regulation is no building permit for an addition to any dwelling or structure shall be issued until the Board of Health has approved the accuracy of the water supply and sewage disposal facilities for the proposed use. So that we say before any building structure. But when it came to the septic, there's nothing written. But since I've been here, I kind of just followed suit, and I've talked to Nate a few times on this. It's the way it's been. We never issued a septic permit without verifying that the well is drilled, so we know where it is versus where the septic is. So if you had to move it, in case unless you couldn't frack it, we want to make sure there's adequate water and at least a baseline sample. Then we would always issue the permit. So that's what it's been, an internal policy without written. It's what we've always done. And besides that, we have that one where no structure, no building permit for any addition or to any dwelling or structure shall be issued by the Board of Health.
And Mr. Chairman, and that, I think that makes a lot of sense in certain areas of town where the lots are 10,000 square feet, 20,000 square feet. In my case, it's a 21-acre site. I mean, if the well doesn't work here, I mean, and of course, it's still my responsibility. If the well doesn't work, it doesn't work. I gotta find another spot anyways. I don't think we have too many wells in town that, too many lots that they never find water. Somehow they find it, whether they go, well, not shallow, but they go deep and they can find it. So, and if I had to move the location of, I guess in my case, the septic is where it has to be in order to be.
Yeah, that's where the test pits are.
Yeah, it's kind of where it has to be.
Yeah.
So the well could get moved further away and different things like that, but I have plenty of place to move it. So I just didn't know if there was any leniency with the board, whether it be lot size or it be topography, or maybe it's a waiver situation. I mean, this, for me, it's been going on for several months. And Kevin and I just, where do we go with it? And this is kind of why
There
we're
is
here.
7 acres on your lot.
Yeah.
So it is you said a good
Yeah.
sized lot. Do you know anything before when the gross alpha was put in that know more than this subject than I do?
No, they changed. I don't know if it was right before I got on or after I got on about 10 years ago, but I think it was before I got on that they said no more shallow wells.
Yeah,
That's in our-
that's in our record.
Yeah,
That's in our regs
That was-
voted on by previous board members.
Yeah, that was
That's one of your questions.
Which is a regulation, not
It's a town,
state.
yeah.
we were having a lot of problems with them.
And they're more susceptible to bacteria.
Yeah, and I agree to some point, but I mean.
And they can run dry during the droughts.
Right, but I mean, I have a shallow well at the country club, and it's got plenty of water. It's 30 feet deep.
Yeah.
But the deep wells go dry too. They all have their problems. But at the same time, it's water quality you're testing anyway. So does it matter whether it's shallow or deep? There's no guarantee a deep well is
They
not going
gross
to get.
alpha too on the
If
deep
the
wells.
casing shifts a little bit, you're gonna get bacteria from whatever's above it. And I've seen that happen before where the casing shifts, and then another well will contribute to that well. So it sounds good, and it probably works in real high density areas. But when you've got plenty of place to go, I mean, Plymouth does it. All the towns around us do shallow wells. They don't have a problem. They have to test the same. In some cases, the shallow wells, you don't get the iron out of them like you get out of the deep wells.
Middleborough
and
and Freetown don't allow them either, I don't think.
I'm not sure. I've talked
Yeah.
to Plymouth and Middleborough.
Yeah, I don't know about
Yeah.
Plymouth, but I don't think Middleborough or Freetown allow shallow wells either.
But what really is the reason not to have a shallow well?
They can
Is
get
the nitrates?
contaminated way easier.
Yeah,
the
I don't
nitrates.
know. I don't know why they made the decision then.
We'd have to look
But when
back
I
in
looked up
minutes.
that particular subject a long time ago, shallow wells are more susceptible to bacteria, especially when you're near coastal, like water bodies of water, and they can run dry. And we had that drought 2 years ago, or whatever it was, where people in Freetown, when I worked in Freetown, or 3 years ago, people were out of water.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a surface water supply, groundwater supply, and a deep water supply, those are three different aquifers.
Yeah.
So Long Pond does not drain into a shallow well. Otherwise, the pond would drain down. That only makes sense. If the well's 30 feet deep, it's going to drain down. So those are three separate bodies of water. I still think that it's still, no matter what you do, you want to test. And you guys want to see a successful test wherever you're getting the water from. So in other towns, like I said, are still doing the shallows. They haven't had problems with them. The state doesn't regulate shallow.
There's no mandate to test your well every month either, or every.
For new construction, there
So-
would be, yeah.
Well, even after, once you're in, so
Right.
there
Yeah,
wouldn't
just
be any data to say whether they're good or bad either.
Yeah.
Either
Well,
way.
actually, I
just
think
test it.
that, from my understanding, Kevin says if it's a sale or something, you have to test it.
Yeah, it's a Title
But if
V.
you own a house for 30 years.
And another
Right.
another point is
30 years
if
and no
you
one had
have,
tested it.
I know he has more acreage, but on just say use an example, people that are closer, just say the Clark Shores or whatever.
Undersized lots.
Undersized lots, thank you, I shouldn't mention particular areas, but a shallow well versus if you can't meet that setback, again, is more susceptible.
Yeah,
Sure.
it was septic.
Yeah, yeah,
To a
that
septic,
cone- yeah, that
that's
coning
You don't
effect.
have your 100 feet and.
Because the septic drains
Because
into
the
that
septic,
aquifer.
yeah, you definitely
Right.
don't want. I think that might have been the reason, like you said, but have to look in the meeting minutes.
Well, the
That's
deeper
been
the
on the
well
books
too,
for a
the
long
more
time.
it gets treated.
Not
Too, if
necessarily.
there's any water that gets to that point, it does.
Because I understand the argument too, they say, more iron and manganese.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some deep wells 700 feet and turn out that they're just full of sulfur. I mean, it's just high in sulfur because of the rock content. I mean, so it doesn't necessarily get better because you go deeper. It sounds good,
Keeps surface stuff out.
but I think that we test our water every month at the club. Never a problem with it, and it's 30 feet down.
Yeah.
You know,
But you're not getting, I think, for myself personally, you're not getting to bedrock where you have a more supply of water.
I'm not sure.
That's what
Yeah.
that's from what I read and stuff.
Yeah, but it's just a thought to put out there. I mean, I'm still gonna. I'm not asking for a waiver or anything like that tonight. I just kind of wanted to bring it up because I submitted in May. Here we are now, and I'm going into the winter months, and I still can't even put a foundation or a thing in because one guy can't. One contractor can't do his part to get out there,
Right.
and because the whole industry is it's hard to find anybody.
He's coming next week, you said?
He
Texted
he
you.
texted me today
Yeah.
saying I think I'm next on his list.
That's good.
But again, that's a month down the road by the time he gets it in. I get all my tests done and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll probably miss this season as far as putting the foundation or anything in.
Is your
And-
lot already cut?
Yes.
The lot's cut?
Yeah, I mean,
It's steep.
the septic's ready to go. It's right. It's all, the house is all surveyed, the septic is surveyed, everything's ready to go. And it's been like that for months, just sitting there. So it's just, maybe there could be a process down the road where it's not on Kevin to make a decision, and it should be owner beware. I mean, you do it, just like a foundation permit, put it in the wrong spot.
That's the only one that's the only one that we actually, that he allows, foundation only. But our office does not sign off on that. And then to move forward from that foundation only, and it's at your own risk, that's when this triggers again, that 18.2. We need to see the water, and we need to see the adequacy of the water, just to make sure you have enough.
Yeah.
Just so we don't have moving location. And then we need that baseline, because you can always add treatment later. So if you had the gross alpha or you had arsenic,
Yeah, most of your deep wells,
before you
treatment centers.
before you add your get your occupancy, you would do treatment. We
Right.
want to make sure if you're flipping it or whoever gets it is going to have safe drinking water.
Yeah. But I think that the shallows, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. You can get a good well or a bad well, and shallow ones,
I think a lot were failing. That was right when I started, and I remember listening to them talk. I think we had a lot of shallow wells failing.
yeah, that might have been a quick response to a particular situation that was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that we have areas that are high density, and that can be a problem.
Yeah, but that's why normally regs are written to identify areas that
Reactive, a lot of times.
Well, I mean, it is near bogs and near the golf course too, so, I mean,
What does that mean?
shallow, you don't know what contact with those water supplies is gonna.
They wouldn't have any
You
contact.
get,
It's two different bodies of water. It's not gonna, the pond is not gonna drain into my well. I mean, if it did, we'd have a problem. We wouldn't have any ponds around here. They'd all drain down into wells. So the water we get up here comes from New Hampshire, and it comes down through the aquifer. We have stuff above the ledge, and we have the stuff below it. I'm by no means a water physicist or anything, but they're totally different bodies of water.
but you have a golf course there.
But-
You can get nitrates, any fertilizers. We had the area.
Not if you do best management practices.
I
you
know,
can't,
but we had the area near
Right,
right?
Janine.
I mean, you know that.
we had the area near Janine where
but when
there's the
ponds
box there.
drop, wells drop, though, too.
No, they don't. They're not the same water.
Depends on where you are.
There's no connection. There's no hydraulic connection between the two.
Well, there is groundwater feeding some ponds, so the groundwater is going through the wells
Spring,
too.
there's summer spring fed.
Right, but like, when the ponds drop, people's wells would be going dry too if they were shallow.
Well, I think a
not
lot of that's
just
just
here,
like
other
weather
than-
conditions and
But there is a connection between surface and groundwater and ponds too.
But I know I've
agree.
done-
It all depends on what the exact
you
conditions
can
are
do
where
it. You can
are.
do a 700-foot deep well and still only get 3 gallons of minute out of it. Matter of fact, that's why you
It
go so
happens.
deep.
Yeah,
so
but
you
you'll
get
have
the-
all the storage capacity when it's that
Well, that's
deep.
why you have
That's
to
why
have
you
the
do it,
storage
yeah.
but you still only have 3 gallons a minute.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, but you get 1,000 gallons of water in the pipe just for
it's just
capacity.
sitting there. But just something to take under advisement. It was Kevin thought it might be an okay idea for me to come in and just mention it.
I
Jimmy's good to
don't,
discuss.
I'm not, without a lot more investigating, gonna change that we allow shallow wells. On this
Right, I think
case,
And that's a shame, Bob, because I mean, you should look into the whole reason why everyone else is still doing it. And
I don't
just
think
be,
it's everyone else.
well, you should
You
maybe,
keep
that's
saying
why I'm here.
Plymouth.
Maybe look into it.
Yeah, you're
And
just
maybe
saying
not just
Plymouth,
shut the
though.
door on it and just say, hey, why is Plymouth still doing it? Why is Carver still doing it? Why are these other towns doing it? And make an educated decision on that. And
Well, that's what I'm saying. Tonight I can't make that
no,
decision.
I'm not asking
because
that
I-
tonight. I'm
because
just
I
saying,
don't know
think
that.
about it down the
Right.
road,
Yes.
that's all.
He was just bringing up the
Yeah.
fact why they aren't allowed
Yeah.
on this thing. Like
And
you
I
said,
bet
it's
if
a
we
local
pulled the
reg, but
minutes, I don't think, the
I'd have
guys
to find an
before me
expert on
just
the waters
did it
to-
arbitrarily. I don't think,
No, absolutely
Garvey and
not.
Terry and those guys just
They could probably do a
made some
search
reg for
of,
no reason at all. So something
play on
caused it.
words when we look up our stuff.
Yeah, we could look into
see
it
if-
and find out.
But
pros and
anyway,
cons.
and normally, Nate gives a foundation permit anyway, so so you could go get the foundation.
Yeah, the problem
If
about
the-
Bob, though, the septic is behind the house, which
Yeah.
is, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
I
right
mean,
away.
it's-
So,
I don't even really care that much about the septic, but I'd want something in there that says, us approving it will not constitute a hardship if they can't get water ultimately, and that no waivers and setbacks are gonna be done because of
Well, I think Kevin has
doing it now.
approved the
yeah,
septic
I'm fine with
design,
that too. I don't have a problem
subject to.
myself.
That's typically what we do. So
It is in our regs that you have it, but if
Yeah,
this with 7 acres, if it's out front, the only
there's
thing
plenty of places to move it.
I would, like stipulation, you're at your own risk.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
just like the
And-
foundation permit.
I wouldn't want to receive the septic as-built without the well
Oh,
in first.
I-
I wouldn't want a as-built that says proposed well on it.
Yeah.
I
And
would-
maybe your policy could say something like that, and
You
and
wouldn't,
give Kevin a little leeway on something like that. Because I think it's pretty vague the way it's written right now. I'm not asking you guys to change it tonight.
Right.
And I'd rather just.
But I bet if I call out of those towns though, I've never built anywhere, you can tell me if I'm wrong, that you gotta show you got water, you gotta put your well in first, you gotta show you get water, you gotta get your septic system approved, and then you get your building permit. I don't know any town that
I'm not
doesn't
looking
say
for my building
you have to
permit.
do
I'm just looking
that.
to put a septic in.
Yeah,
So if I put the septic in and then I get the well, then I get a building permit, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I would do it anyways.
it's just I understand what Bob's saying. It's out of the order that it's typically
Out of the
done.
norm.
You have to demonstrate for us always water.
Yeah.
Then we're all satisfied saying, okay, now the easy stuff is bringing in the sand and putting the stuff in. The
Now
hardest
build a
part was
lot.
to show us that you have water, because there are times where we didn't.
Do you have any Form A lots that have never gotten a well, that this has actually happened?
they've done 2 of them in, up off the Race Course Road, Joshua. We did one, failed with gross alpha.
Yeah, but did they put
When it
another one
first
in?
came into
Yeah.
effect, they put another one in
Yeah.
40 feet away, and that one did pass.
Yeah, so they were able to get they got water.
That was one known well. I know that there's 2 wells in the property,
Yeah.
and then we had to pull it out and seal it.
But chances are, if you've got a lot, you're gonna get water, one way or the other.
well, on 7 acres, somewhere you're gonna get water.
I would be,
I
just because you're
I'm not gonna say on any, 10,000 square feet
No,
lot,
I
you're gonna get
know,
water.
and that's why I was just saying, maybe it should be any conforming lot or something like that, maybe the language should just give him a little leeway to say, you can do the leach field, but you can't do the tank, you can't do the foundation, you can't do this. And I might be an isolated case, but you can just see how long it has held it up. And, I don't own a well truck, I wish I did at this
Yeah,
point.
that's what held you up, not
Yeah,
us.
it's trying to get a guy
We
up there.
approved it
The plan has been approved
Yeah.
since
April.
April.
I have it in front of me, April 25th.
Yeah, so
This has been approved.
so
It's been a
typically
long
the
time.
person comes in to pull it, but when
You've never seen me this patient, have you?
Yeah, in a case like this, like we say, and we just had one on, I forget, the one that we went out there, we poured the water in the, I forget what it is, Cedar Dale or whatever it was. It was the same thing.
Yeah.
The installer wanted to pull the permit for the septic, and we said, oh, you're putting in a new well, we need to see the water first.
Right.
That law was a little
Yeah.
tighter.
And I don't wanna open up a can of worms with this, that's why I would rather you guys think about this and,
Right.
delve in and not make any
No,
hasty
again,
decision.
if we put language in like the foundation permit that you're proceeding at your own risk and putting this in will not constitute a hardship for a future building permit and.
No waivers will be given
And
or
all
anything
that,
else
Yeah,
like
no
that.
waivers, you
And
must be 100
setbacks.
feet if you
Right.
screw up by a foot.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to move your well, or move
Yeah.
the system.
I mean,
Right, I mean,
that I don't-
at your own risk.
I don't care, cause common sense tells you somewhere on 7 acres you can get a well. So,
Is it sold?
No, this is gonna be for me.
Oh, this is you,
Yeah.
and you're selling it.
That's why I've been patient.
And you're selling the other one, right?
Yeah.
That's- 'cause I remember seeing this.
And no as-built, you said?
That would be if we take a vote.
oh, we're not gonna
to
give a
approve.
compliance until
Yeah,
we
Right.
get
No
water.
certificate of compliance. no as-built turned in, it would be,
Yeah.
my recommendation, if we do make a motion.
No, I'm not asking you guys to make a
You
motion.
don't wanna make a motion
No,
in case he
no,
doesn't show up?
I appreciate it, I just kinda, I don't want,
Then why are you here if you,
because I just think it's something you guys should look at for the
Well, the
future.
well guy just called.
but this is a case with 7 acres.
Right,
It'll
well,
be
that's-
different for somebody with 10,000
Totally up to
feet.
you. I
Yeah,
didn't wanna
it's
come in here and I just thought it was a good thing to talk about. And Kevin and I thought maybe.
What do you
get on
think?
the
I had
agenda.
nothing else to do tonight, just talk to you?
I got
Like,
musical
if you
opinion
didn't want
going
us to
on
make a
tonight.
motion, then leave.
All right,
But,
Do you wanna put it in or not?
Drive.
yeah, yeah,
What's the
if it's
mess?
okay, leave it.
Yeah, I think it's a case-by-case basis, and this one demonstrates.
I'm gonna make a motion that we allow him to put his leaching field in at his own risk. No waivers will be given, no certificate of compliance will be given, no hardship will be deemed if for some reason he can't get, a good well. And basically he's doing it just like a foundation, permit, he's doing it at his own risk. And
no
none of those
as-bills.
things will, and, well, obviously you need an as-built with a well on it, so.
Yeah, don't know as.
So we're not gonna give a compliance until it's done.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you guys, thank you for your time, thanks Kevin.
No problem, no problem. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Put that one back
This
in
is
the
yours?
book. We don't lose that.
What are you here for? Langola Pines? Well, come sit up here.
Pines. Next on the agenda, Zenith Consulting Engineers. Discuss local upgrade approval.
Joe. Will Connolly, Zenith Consulting Engineers. I'm here on behalf of our client Vincent Troiani regarding 7 Langley Pines. We're requesting local upgrade approvals from the following provisions of Title V. A reduction of the required setback between the proposed leaching field and a surface water supply from 400 feet to 250 feet. A reduction of the required setback between the proposed septic tank and surface water supply from 400 feet to 165 feet, and a reduction of the required setback between the proposed pump chamber and a surface water supply from 400 feet to 165 feet. As you can see here, the plumbing comes out the back, and it cannot be rerouted. So we have the tank and pump chamber coming out the back, and a force main feeding it out to the front where the leaching field will be. This is in order to keep it as far away from the surface water supply as we can. We're also meeting all other setbacks as far as wells for abutting lots, and we feel that where the leaching field is placed there is the most feasible as far as construction goes.
Yeah. Huge drop down to the water. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
No, I agree, your location of that, you're not gonna gain much more by
No, and
sliding it over, you're
the
gonna hit the
grade
sheds.
gets steeper
and-
too, and it
Yeah.
just doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
that's right, the grade's changing.
And is there bathrooms in the basement? Is that where the plumbing comes in?
I believe so. I'm not sure, but I know that it can't be rerouted to the front.
Probably the reason why. Because there's a walkout.
It's a 3-bedroom, we would just require a deed restriction on it, I think it might say that on there already. Just no increase in flow, just because of the setback to the surface water supply. If it was approved.
So the field must be 400 from the water supply?
Yes,
That makes it.
but still, the field doesn't make it.
No, the field still that's 250.
That's why the
feet.
deed restriction would be required.
Tank, pump chamber.
It's an existing lot already, that's the best I think it's the best,
Yeah.
where else are you gonna go?
Right.
Yeah.
And
We're
it's
upgrading it.
existing already, and,
We've seen it.
but obviously we wouldn't wanna increase flow.
Right, it's
Yeah.
3 bedrooms already
Correct.
existing. Where was the old system, down on?
Yeah,
this
down
old
here,
pit?
there's
Is that
a
all it was?
leaching pit, yeah.
Okay, and the old tank might be under the other tank? Or it doesn't even have it, just wasn't
I think it was just an
old?
old pit back there.
I'm fine with it, I didn't see anything.
No.
Make a motion to approve septic upgrade at 7 Langley Pine with the 3 local upgrades and a 3-bedroom deed restriction.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
First one?
First one.
Well, you should see him on conservation, did a good job.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, next on the agenda, 415 Millennium Circle, review comments for the Board of Appeal petition.
All these 3 that are on here, after further review, it looks like I'd be able to draft something. We just wanted to put them on because of, I'll give you an update. We just wanted to put them on because of my absence last week. So for this one, it's a proposed cultivation for marijuana establishment.
Yep.
So what we did is, I gotta confirm though. We invited them to come to the next meeting, the 11th, the 20th,
Okay,
just to discuss like all the other establishments.
yep, what we expect.
Yeah, their operation, what they plan, I read some of it, what they plan on doing for the Title V. They're looking to add a tank. We might have to discuss what's there now, might need a Title V.
Yeah, what they're doing for.
Yeah, and their whole procedure, we just wanna,
Brewery.
yeah, and we sent them the regs as well.
Okay.
So we'll hear back, hopefully they can meet us before this, because it'll be the day before, they have to go before the ZBA, so we'll still have enough time to write a letter.
Okay.
So.
All right, and Bedford Street?
So 296 Bedford Street, originally they did a Title V with the transfer of property. However, we actually went out there with ZCE, Zenith Consultant, and we did a perk test. So we're waiting for plans to be submitted for that.
Okay.
They're looking to, raise and rebuild.
Yeah.
And the only question on that one, but it's still a water supply. There's a shared well on that. But the owner, after speaking to the owner, he was looking to see if he could tie in somehow. But that would have to show on the plan. Right now, there is a shared well. It's directly on the property line.
Yeah.
With
Is it an undersized lot?
It is.
Yes.
So make sure they know not to tear the house down until they get the new septic in,
And the permit.
cause they'll be screwed.
That's the way people should do it, yeah.
Well, no, they're screwed, cause then it's new construction on a lot,
So,
and they don't get the protection. I tried telling that to Cyrus.
Yeah.
So
I'll mention
I don't want people getting screwed and
I'll
getting
mention
themselves
that.
in trouble.
Yeah, because it's already there. They demonstrate water and they demonstrated septic. So now I understand the building, if whatever you want to do, it has to go
You
down.
have to raise and rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but they should get the
that's an
septic in first.
I'll mention that to him.
So
Yeah, cause if
I've
they,
mentioned that to people
well, if they
already.
don't, we can't give them a permit.
Yeah.
When they tear it down, they gotta meet new construction, and they won't.
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody to get in a jam, so they need to get their septic approved and installed before they rip the house down, or else they lose all the protection. We can't
So
give
they're
them the
going before the
variances.
ZBA in the 21st, but I'll already reach out to
Yeah.
their engineer, saying if he can get that in there, with the other million plans that I have, so we can get that going, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, I just want people to know, I don't want them to get in trouble.
So, you're gonna write that one, we don't need to.
Yeah, I think that's cut and dry. I looked at it real quick, I think they're all cut and dry. We just put it on the meeting.
Yeah.
You can still review it.
Now, how long,
We put on the meeting because I didn't know I was gonna be out any longer here.
are they gonna have 100 feet even to get a system in on that shared well on that size lot? Or is it too small?
I haven't seen the plan.
Haven't seen the
yet.
plan.
Yeah, cause we can give them
They can ask for
variances
var-
now,
they
we
can ask
can't
for-
give them
they can ask for
variances
the
after they rip the
variances,
house
yeah.
down.
that's for the.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
but we
talking about
can't
the
give them
other
after they
well,
rip the house down.
Not,
Correct.
not his.
So I just don't want
building, right?
them
You're
getting
talking about
screwed.
the other homeowner, which.
Yeah, well, depending on, he put it pretty far away from where that corner was.
Yeah.
So I think we got it. They have it, right? So,
All right,
But once they rip the house down, we can't give them the variances, so they just need to get that squared away first.
113 Nelson Grove, if you recall, they were already before us. The ZCE also had mentioned, that was the one that they were going to raise and rebuild, but wanted to keep the tanks, and there was a discussion, are we gonna keep them? And then the board made,
new tanks, new pumps.
new pumps, yeah. So you
Yes.
gave me that plan, which we approved.
Yep.
The only thing is, on my letter, as you recall, all raise and rebuilds according to our regs still need a Title V. So even though they're putting in those tanks, they're just gonna demonstrate that the field's working properly.
Correct.
And that's probably as simple as the rest of the
So
Title
now
V,
they're just
right?
going to the ZBA and what we
Yeah,
approved.
so I'm gonna say the same thing in our letter, that we have an approved plan to move the tanks. However, the board had
Replace the
voted
tanks.
on, what I'll look back on the date saying, a Title V was still required, just to make sure the field is in working order.
Yep.
And everything else, you know? Because there's some alarms with all that, we just wanna make sure the system's working properly
Yeah.
for that new house.
And that's
And
it.
that's all I have, so I'll be able to write those letters.
Okay.
I just wanted to give you an update.
All right. Now, under new business, anything anybody has coming up? I have one question under new business. Where do we stand on the 50 Cross Street septic repair for the town betterment?
So, I don't know if you signed.
We didn't sign the permit yet. I know I think it's
Yeah,
probably
it's
still
there.
in one of the
So-
piles.
So that one will be done this week, but then the betterment's in there to sign.
Is it in tonight's agenda? Do we
It's
have
not
it?
in the tonight's agenda.
Okay. Because has it gone to the lawyers yet?
That's why I don't know, no.
Okay. So we had a question last week. They were looking to
Yeah.
get this installed. And the question was, can we issue the permit if we approve the plan to install the system without the betterment approved at the meeting? And that's why we waited till the meeting tonight and I put it on
You can put a discussion, yeah.
Well,
for
Chris, so
discussion.
you know, I got a call, could I come down here, they wanna get the septic going in.
'Cause-
When I got down here, I couldn't call anybody else because the girls told me Derek was in earlier and he said not to issue the permit for that. And I was like, why? And they said, well, they applied for betterment. And my opinion is, and I don't know if we should check with council, but my opinion is one has nothing to do with the other. If you come in here, you want your septic approved, you can get your septic approved. If they applied for betterment, we could make a note on it, us granting this permit does not guarantee you're gonna get your betterment, and, you know, there's no obligation from the Board of Health. But I don't think one has to do with the other, so both parties knew that the betterment wasn't approved, but they wanted to go forward, but out of respect to Derek as the chair, since the girl said he didn't want it signed off, I didn't sign it. But if I got here before Derek, I would have signed it and said, here's your septic, go ahead and put it in, just so you know, you getting a betterment has nothing to do with, you know, how you guys are gonna get this paid for, and if you wanna
At your own
get
risk.
started at your own
Proceed
risk, it's on you.
Yeah.
So, but because I knew, the girls told me that Derek said that, now I couldn't call you, I couldn't ask anyone else, so I just let it stand, but they weren't happy, but I don't see one having anything to do with the other one. Personally, that's how I look at it, but I guess going forward, maybe it'll never come up again, but I guess going forward, cause that person could've came in, got their septic approved, and then applied for the betterment.
Yes,
So I didn't see one having anything to do with the other, but again, out of respect and because I couldn't call the third person and get your opinion, cause that was illegal, I just said, I'm not signing it off.
That's why I wanted to bring it up tonight.
Yeah, that's fine, I think
And
that'd
do
be
you
fine.
know anything
I-
more about the abetments? Have we issued any abetments after the system has been put in?
I don't think we've done that.
Well, that could be the
Well,
technicality.
We have the 10% contingency. When we've had where we've gone and done a system
Yeah.
and we've come across some different things, and that's why we bumped it up, we put that 10%.
No,
extra.
but I'm saying though, and I see Derek's part on that, we should probably check with council, because if they applied for the betterment and it's already in the works, and then they start on the septic system, but if somebody put a septic system in 2 weeks ago, they couldn't come and ask for betterment to pay for it now, cause it's already in. So, does that trigger, if we, you know,
We shouldn't be getting too many of these though, because most of the people when they're applying for the betterment, it's including the engineering.
yeah,
So where are they gonna?
I think the mix-up, and
without the money?
I'll be frank, the mix-up was, well, they came in and they said, is that one approved already? And I was like, we don't even have it.
Right,
Like,
it
what?
didn't even get submitted.
We don't have it. And they went back and then they approved it and they're like, and then the next day, like, do you have it now? We're like, well, and then last week I was out.
Yeah.
So I looked at it yesterday, all I have to do is highlight a few things. That's done, so that's the question, do we?
Yeah, they wanna start like tomorrow. is
Do
the
we,
question.
do you
Yeah.
sign it and
Yes.
say with a condition it has to go out for the betterment?
Yeah. Now, does the betterment still have to take 3 bids to get the betterment, or
No,
they don't do
no,
that anymore? That you can pick who you want,
Yeah.
and you just say, this is the price. Okay.
There's nothing in the better.
But again, though, if they get the septic in,
They're gonna wait. Because it has to
if
be
they get the
reviewed now.
septic in first, before we approve the betterment, then can we give them a betterment?
That was my question.
Yeah,
That was my holdup.
Yeah.
I didn't know the answer.
Because like if somebody else came, like I said, if somebody came and put a septic system in last week, was like, holy crap, this is too much money, I'm gonna apply for betterment, right? We don't go back and say, oh, you
Right.
put yours in last month, last year, you can apply to, to pay off your
It's only for
contractor.
the new going forward.
But they had applied for it, I know we got
I
a
guess
ton of
Laura
money.
can ask the
I
town
was gonna
council.
say,
Yeah.
yeah, because I wonder if there's any language in the betterment that says
Yeah,
you
but,
have
I
to
mean,
wait.
I know we got the money, I'm pretty sure we're all gonna vote to approve it, so I don't
Right.
see the problem,
And the owner and the installer was okay.
yeah,
They both knew the deal that this wasn't approved and they're willing to put it in. The developer, the installer was willing to take the risk and
yeah,
deal with the owner if it didn't get
yeah,
approved.
that if we
They
didn't
just
approve
wanted to
it.
put it in.
Yeah.
So,
But again, though, after they've applied for it with the plan, I don't know how long it takes to
we're looking at
approve it.
like
I
another
thought,
month,
I
right?
thought
I'm
would be,
told? That's what they told us.
how long does it take to get a betterment approved?
Another
Don't we
month.
just vote on it?
It has to go to Boston, they said.
But they sent it to the town, they sent it to town council.
Town council, and it goes to Boston.
They
and
do
then it
all that,
comes to
they do all
us.
their paperwork, cause they're the ones
It's
that
been
put the
done a
lien,
month ahead of time.
they're the ones
before
that put the
it comes to
lien on the
us.
property.
Yeah,
They do all that paperwork for us.
That's why it'll go to.
That's why, so
Yeah.
that's all.
Because I don't
we've
think
done
it's,
before
I think, cause we
see.
don't do credit checks or anything.
No.
It's more to put us first. So when, let's just say it gets flipped or whatever, the town is covered. The town council is covering us.
Right.
So we don't,
Well, I mean,
everything's right.
as long as there's no language in there that says that it should be going this process,
Yeah.
and as long as everyone's clear
So-
that they're on the hook.
but
It doesn't
again,
get
though,
approved,
if
then
the
I'm okay
language,
with
if them applying for the betterment and then putting the septic in doesn't, cause what if it was failing, bubbling up in the house, and the people were like, I applied all my stuff, can I put the septic in, I'll take it, I'll risk putting it in. I would say, fine, go ahead, but I mean, if there's some language that says we can't vote to give them the betterment if the septic's already in.
But my question is, unless there's, I think that the plan is 14 days old. And we still have another meeting coming up. Unless they show a real hardship, we can, why does it have to be done tomorrow?
Their reasoning was the people that live there go to Florida for the winter, and they normally leave November 1st to go to Florida, and they don't wanna leave and have somebody come put
But
a
I'm
system in
sorry,
their
so
house.
there's just
So
demonstrating
they're
that.
sitting, waiting here, up here, and they don't wanna be up here, they wanna go to Florida. And
Yeah.
they wanna have the system in
Because I'm
before
like
they
saying,
leave.
in our instance,
That was their-
we are doing everything correctly.
Right.
And if they change it during the process, we could say, let us go check.
Right.
And our next meeting's the 20th. The plan could already be approved,
When did they
and
submit?
we could have it contingent. You can actually make a motion saying, if we change it already, even before the meeting, it's already signed.
It's been in for 14
But you
days.
give yourself a buffer in case you don't know the answer until the 20th. It seems like, you're being pushed to do something rapidly when you don't have to.
That was the other thing, they thought it's already been in there for a month. It fell to the engineers.
Yeah, and that's not,
They thought it was submitted, everybody thought it was submitted.
they came to
Then
us
we
and
came to
said,
get the plan,
can we
the
pull this
engineer
permit?
never brought it,
And we were like, we don't even have it.
spaced it for a month.
It would have been, honestly, it would have been done
That
already.
was the other problem.
I was out last week.
I mean, I have no problem issuing it if, you check with town council and they say it's okay, or whoever does the betterment,
Yeah.
and make a stipulation to, when they pick up the approved plan, to the owner and the installer in writing that it's not approved yet, you're doing this at your own risk for the betterment.
But why can't we vote to approve this betterment subject to town council putting all the legal documents in place? Then they're covered.
We don't know if town council's gonna approve it and give us the amount, and we have to say the exact
Well,
amount.
we approve it.
The exact amount to prove, we read the number. So I mean, you can't prove a non-binding
saying.
number. I mean, I have no problem putting
But
it
we
in their
have
own risk.
we have a ton of money though.
Correct.
Yeah, and my position again is, it's not even 2 weeks old. I understand, it'll be approved already, subject to, you can even make the motion saying,
That's what he was just saying.
before, like, subject to, once we know, we say, all right, they already had said it during a meeting. Then you just could read it off at the next, ratify it at the next one, saying
Yeah, it might have been, it might have been,
whatever the number is.
it might have been right before you guys, or maybe it was in the afternoon in Derek, maybe you were on, but you couldn't come or something, but I sat right here with Rita and some guy from the state when they were talking about this, when we were gonna go to the last town meeting and get all that extra money. And that program is ours. We don't need, that's why when they wanted to start having somebody else sign off on it in the building, I bought it. I was like, no, that's our money. We don't need selectmen. We don't need anybody. They said, the guy told me we could have our own checkbook right here in the building and we could just sign off on it and give the money out. We don't need anybody else. That money comes from the state to us to fix septic systems, period. Nobody else needs to get involved in the middle, and we don't have to. Now, if we're sending it to town council to put the legal easements on, fine. We can do that, but it's still up to us to give them the money or not. So if we want to give them the money, which I do, I mean, I don't know these people, but, I've been saying for years, every new septic that goes in town, I won, right? It's one more win for the Board of Health. We get a new
Definitely.
system not contaminated. So that's why on these things here, I mean, I didn't know it was only in for a couple of weeks, but,
And that's the problem. They went to go pull it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this one and that one. We gave them one. We're like, we don't have the other one.
yeah.
And they're
It
like,
never got turned
and then literally the next day they're like, well, do you have it now? We're like, we haven't even looked at it yet.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Just came in.
It all came in
This-
at once, the plan and the betterment all came in at once?
No, the plan has been in there. That now they just talk about betterment now. But it came in order.
Yeah, they
So I
just
gotta
got
kind-
14 days. He hasn't
Yeah.
even looked at it to approve it to give it up.
I brought them home. I brought a bunch home. So that's pile is actually pretty much halfway done. One engineer, I had told him, because we did 10 together, and one good thing is we've done so many for the change in use. We did 10 at once with one engineer, and I said, please don't give me 10 at once.
Yeah.
Give me 5 and 5 or 6 and 4, and he did that. He gave me 6. I took some home. I'm ready to just sign them off on all of them, and I took some homework home while I was out. But that other one, I think they just expected it too fast. Like,
Right.
they have to understand that there's, and then they're adding to it saying, and we want to do a betterment. Is it done? Give it to us. I'm like, okay, I understand. We understand everybody has deadlines and stuff, but some patience, right?
You wanna? I'm worth looking into it. I would like to at least look into a town just in case it comes up again.
Yeah, that'd be good. We'll get the answer.
If you can, and I'm
She
fine issuing
has a
it.
direct contact with the one that does just strictly betterments.
Okay.
We can ask the question.
So we can ask the question tomorrow and ask if
Yeah.
we're allowed. I'm fine issuing it if they say
Specifically, if we're allowed to.
if we're allowed to issue the plan without it approved yet.
Okay.
The number.
The number approved.
The owner is aware in writing, and the installer is aware in writing from the Board of Health that they're on their own risk. It's not approved yet to install.
But we wanna make sure that they're covered, that once they applied for the betterment, them installing the septic system. Cause if it's really, because we're sending it to council, if it's really taking a month and a half, and stuff was backing up in their house, and they wanted to put
Yeah,
the
it's
septic
true.
in tomorrow, I'd be like, put your septic in, you know what I
I
mean?
don't even think
So-
it takes that long, but
Right, they told them up to 30 days.
yeah, just to give yourself. Yeah, you don't want to
So-
say because if you have specific people that only do that there,
Right.
and something happens,
So
you don't want to you don't want to
Right.
give yourself fall short of what you're saying.
But as long as it doesn't stop them from getting the betterment, then I don't care if you give them the permit tomorrow
I
to
don't-
put the
I don't think
septic
it will.
system
I'm
in.
fine.
yeah, okay, yeah, I'm the same way.
Okay.
Right, but just find that out, saying, all right, you applied for the betterment already, so now you're covered, we can issue the permit. We're still, put it right in writing. There's no guarantee you're gonna get it, even though we
Till it's
have the
approved at
money,
meeting.
we're gonna do it.
It's
You're
at your
doing it
own
at
risk.
just like Derek, you're at your own risk, you might not get it. But I think all of us, we're giving anybody
Oh,
who
yeah,
needs a new
well,
septic,
yeah,
we're
we
gonna
got to
give them
come
the
back
money,
from the
so we
lawyer
don't
for
care.
some reason that said,
I don't
Yeah.
see us using too many like this very often.
Yeah,
anyway.
no.
no.
No, I think
They
this
need-
is
they
like
need
I
the
said.
money
I
for
think it
engineering.
was.
very isolated.
But I mean, this
They
situation.
must
one-
have had
one
money
thing
for
after the
engineering
other.
up front, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? They didn't need
But
the
this
money.
situation isn't an emergency technically, but we might as well know the answers in case, like I said, if we get one.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
nothing's
no.
going down, it's backing up in the house.
Right.
Guy just wants to get it done. He found somebody to put it in. He got somebody to come out, do his plan, or maybe he already had a plan, he just never could afford to do it, and now it's like, I have to get it and we can't live there without it. I don't wanna say, well, we gotta wait for town council, I just wanna know that if they applied for it, that locks them in, that
They're applied.
they're not applied and they can't get kicked out afterwards for installing.
Because either way, yeah, because we have to give the money to get the money to give it to
We
them.
don't have his help either.
Because we wouldn't release without knowing it's
Correct.
the town is covered.
Correct. Yeah, Nate had mentioned something about that, to make sure there's money in the account and
Yeah.
before we sign.
Oh,
we-
and check that though. I thought when you looked into it about a month ago, we had a ton of money.
Yeah, like because we borrowed another 200. I think we have 600,000.
Yeah,
But
we
how
made
much
a
money is
motion.
still in the state? How much money do we have approved that we can keep asking for?
I think we could keep going up to $1 million again. I
Yeah,
think.
like,
can
yeah,
ask.
we got $1 million or $2 million. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
I would,
No,
yeah,
I
I
think
happened to talk
But
to.
I think
we've
don't,
used
you have to go. No, I
400.
think you have to go back to town meeting.
We do.
And ask for
Yeah,
more
but
money.
I think we've used
Ask to do it again.
Ish of the million.
Of the million.
Yeah.
Roughly.
I think
Okay.
around that time, when we were rounding the corner now into the April town meeting, or what do you call it? What meeting is that one?
The June one, I believe.
Yeah, but what is that? The annual?
The annual.
Yeah.
When we round that corner, we put an article in.
Yeah.
And then
Correct, we're after this
one of you
year.
guys speak on the article and it hopefully gets
Yes.
passed.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer, I think. Because we help so many people, but we can ask for that, whatever the amount is again.
Right.
Yeah.
And we made a motion already at one of our last meetings at 400,000 to do that. I believe
Yeah.
the number was. We all voted.
And just again, anybody watching doesn't know what we're doing. We're not giving away the tax dollars. There's a program, we get money from the state. We borrow it, we can lend to any resident in town. Doesn't matter if they have good credit or any conditions to put their septic in. It gets put against the deed, so the town's always protected. It's a super lien. We get our money first if anything ever happens. And we charge a little bit more money interest than we pay. So the town actually makes money off of it. It doesn't cost the taxpayers a nickel. And it's a program to help people put in septic systems to try to clean up a lot of these bad septics in town.
And
So,
people can actually extend that to 20 years.
yeah, so it's
it's a loan,
it's a good program that doesn't cost anybody, a resident, a penny. And so when you hear us saying 400 grand, $1 million, it's not your money we're giving away. So, so if we're
I'll
good
ask
with
those
that, then go
questions.
ahead with that and find that out.
Okay. All right.
And then I just want to bring up, while Kevin was out there, and I'm sorry about your father.
Thank you.
They wanted to open up the
Dollar Tree?
dollar store there. So I went over there. Jamie had a pipe, water shot up so high in the pipe. He said they had made them change the pumps before because the water didn't shoot up high enough in the pipe. So they had to wait for the new pumps. They got the new pumps in. He took pictures. I had him send them to Kevin because, I really didn't know that much.
Yeah.
And that was to get the septic approved because the developer had penalties if he was holding them up. So normally I would have just said wait for Kevin for a few days, but because Jamie wouldn't pass the other pumps, it took them like a week or 10 days to get them, and now they were under the gun. So I went to do that, and then Fran said that they didn't have their milk license yet, and they didn't have to sell food.
Yeah,
but
retail food, yeah.
Yeah, there's no. But then I checked with Nate. There was no. They didn't prepare food. They weren't doing anything like that in there. They were having chips and stuff just to buy, like a grocery store.
All sealed packages.
Yeah, so I told Nate I was fine with that if he wanted to open them, to give him a week or two temporary, right? Because odds are they're not going to bring in a bunch of old stale stuff on their first day of his new store. So, and I said, if he wanted to do that, and then just make it temporary until
I'll make it a point to go out there first thing.
and
Tomorrow.
yeah, until he gets
Yeah,
back.
you're right
it'll
now.
have to be on the way back,
On the
yeah.
way back, you have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're out 3 more days.
and then
2 more
so,
days.
and they opened, so I'm assuming that's what happened. I never got another call back again, but I have already told Kevin about it, and he's gonna go out and do a real inspection and make sure everything's perfect and stored properly. But I mean, for a week, I wasn't worried that mice were gonna get into anything or anything was gonna happen. So normally I wouldn't have done that, but I always try to help out a business in town get open.
All right, so you're gonna look into that one, and then we'll have a permit. We have to approve the new milk permits at the board.
Normally you sign the new ones, but we could do it on the next meeting if the board
You
says to
wanna-
approve it while pending my inspection.
We wanna make
Yeah.
a motion for that, so we're not out without a
Yeah.
permit, because it's 2 weeks away from tonight.
If the board wants to, yeah, I'll do it.
Is it just milk or is there another one too?
Yeah,
we
so
do.
it'd be the milk and cream and the, it's a food permit, but it's more for retail. So they only have packaged stuff.
Yeah.
He's right, they're not preparing any food.
Yeah, I asked that
They might have
question.
some frozen stuff, whatever it is, for frozen.
Yeah,
I
the
guess
back of
everything's
the
a
store,
dollar,
they
so it's
have-
gonna be.
Yeah, because I told him I wasn't
Maybe
gonna
ice
approve a
cream,
kitchen
right?
because I didn't know enough about them to do that, but they're selling the bags of chips and cans of soda, I didn't care.
And they
so.
might have candy and stuff.
Yeah.
They do have candy
Yeah,
and
so-
all, it's all sealed packages.
So it's
I
all-
have been
it's
in
all
there
a dollar,
myself
so-
already. So we would need to approve 2 permits, the milk
Milk and cream and for retail food.
and retail food.
I'll make a motion, we approve a milk and
Milk and
cream
cream
license for the dollar store, subject to Kevin's approval.
and retail food.
Oh, don't we, they're 2 different ones, right?
Yeah.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. I'll make a motion that we approve for the dollar store, retail food license, subject to Kevin's inspection.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
That's all I had.
I had a few things.
Yep.
One I just noticed when I was perusing the meeting minutes. Any update on 24 County Street? The guy with the illegal septic?
He
He
canceled.
canceled.
And so what happened was, the conference that I went to, I rescheduled, and I gave him an earlier date of Halloween. And when we got to Halloween, he canceled.
Okay. So we're still trying to figure it
We're
out.
trying, yeah.
Okay.
So he's gonna order cease and desist.
Yeah.
And
There's no perk test of
yeah, he doesn't even, it's not really, he has a dwelling, but no park date. I'm speaking out of school, I don't know if they rescheduled yet,
Okay.
but I can find out, all right? Either way, I'll follow up with that as well.
The other thing was, when did we find out about the pertussis at school?
Whooping cough?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
there's whooping cough at the school, everybody. We just found out yesterday from the CDC, I think.
Was it just yesterday that came in?
yeah, so there was
Interesting. I wanna.
two, not to alarm anyone, all right?
I've known for over a week.
Yeah, but not to
My
alarm
son's
anyone,
in
they're gonna probably send out some information that there are 2 confirmed cases.
In the middle school?
Yeah, and just to give some people more if your child has symptoms. But again, not to alarm anyone. It's more of a what happens with that is if somebody has a reportable communicable disease, when you go to the hospital, you're followed up by our town nurse. So they find out, and it's all under wraps, so like HIPAA, nobody tells exactly what's going on. But the nurse follows up with you and says, oh, they'll find out your occupation, or if you're in school, just to make sure you're taking your medication and you're not going back. And so right now, those individuals, everything's good, but we always want to be more proactive.
Yeah.
So we want to just make sure we just say, hey, if anyone has symptoms, and we're just going to send a letter to the school, and they were supposed to disperse it out to,
Right.
again, it's just more,
I'm just
hey,
curious.
and especially the same, it could be anything, flu season, whatever it is. We just want to make sure people know that if you're sick, seek attention.
I
Right?
was just curious because I've known for longer than that. So I was just wondering where, like, how quick the communication moves from the school or to whoever, where.
It's
Well, it
It's
took a
pretty-
week, it sounds like.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty quick. But what happens is,
but the thing is how many kids could be sick by now?
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. And
but nobody's yeah.
There was
But what happens is, but behind the scenes, because I sent the email out, but there's a few back days already with the nurse at the school has been working with our nurse,
okay,
and again, it's
From the
more
get-go.
of a
all right,
it's under wraps. What do we do now?
okay. Because the school.
I don't want to jinx myself, but we say it's under wraps. So what do we do now? We don't just our office. We don't just kind of say, okay, we just want to make sure we cover all bases. Right? It could be with
Well, I
anything.
mean, I know we can't say anybody's name, but I think the residents should know as soon as we know. And if you're sending your
Yeah.
kids to school there, especially if you're one of the people who don't vaccinate your kids because of something you heard on the internet a few years ago, like, you know, there could have been a kid there that doesn't get the immunization for the last week and nobody knew.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they're watching our meeting tomorrow, they still don't know a lot of these people, so that's, like, I
Yeah,
get that.
and we did
I
that.
get
We
the
sent out the
freedom of-
information. Yeah, we can't give
who?
names. Yeah.
Who'd we send it out to though?
So there's a doctor that works for the school.
Yeah.
So our nurse talks to their nurse and the physician for the school,
Yeah.
and then there's correspondence going to be distributed out. So there's already like
Yeah,
So
but I mean,
their doctor
but they-
knows of the
but
case
one-
of the
but
Again,
individual.
without saying names, I saw one of my friend's cars, my office is across the street from the pediatrician. I saw one of my friend's cars there and I asked him what was going on. He said his kid was sick and I said, let the doctor know, we just found out we have whooping cough in the middle school. So he said thanks, that they didn't know. So his
Yeah.
pediatricians in our town that didn't know, and it seems like it's been a week and nobody knows.
Yeah. I'm
So
just
I
curious,
feel like
how
there should be
quick
a
stuff
faster
moves
way to get
from-
it out there.
And I'm not
Yeah, as soon as we know,
I
we
can't
start
remember
passing the
who-
information.
whether we heard it from the nurse, the school nurse, or if we heard it from, I think, because it's my son's in the same class as the person who has it. So we ended up calling our pediatrician, and we got both our kids put on the antibiotics because there's more than one case in the school, from what I hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to get into too details because of
Yeah, no, we
HIPAA
can't
and
say
all that
names
stuff.
and any of that stuff,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, if they've known for a week, somebody
Yeah.
should be notifying people, somebody should,
kind of curious.
No,
should be
yeah,
getting it in the
school, right?
paper.
That's a school, yeah.
Yeah.
We've been, like the thing, we're working, our nurse works with the individual and then works with the school, and then that information was already sent out. And then other information I looked at today of another letter, which I said, looks good to me, that should be circulating around soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
But everyone knows from the school,
Just not the parents have known it, that's what you're
not
saying.
all the
That
parents,
has-
yeah.
Well,
Not out
It's the individuals, but then
a week.
they will have it soon.
Okay.
They should have
Yeah, but I
it.
mean, but again though, if that nurse knew a week ago,
I don't know
should-
exactly,
they
I don't know
should-
exactly when she knows.
they
Yeah.
should have
Yeah.
said something
I
a
don't know
week ago.
exactly when
That's,
she
And it
knows.
probably-
I gotta clarify exactly.
Yeah, I don't know
too.
exactly,
I'm
but
curious
this
what
is like, we're talking
I'm
like
asking too. 'cause
very
I'm curious.
short.
Well, he's saying he knew last week. I just found out yesterday,
I knew
right? So a lot of kids
I don't know
got
when I
sick
sent
in
you
a
that
weekend.
thing,
Yesterday.
Monday?
maybe it was
Yesterday.
Thursday. So
Yeah,
not quite
I mean,
a
I
week
just
ago,
don't
6
want
days.
kids getting sick if they,
Yeah.
and
Well, you get the weekend in there too.
and the doctors should be getting notified, at least some of the regular local ones,
Yeah.
because
I'm just
if a kid
the
came
reason
in
I
with
bring it up
something, they
too
might
is
not
I'm
be looking
curious
for that.
like how the flow goes from
Yeah.
school to
The Board of Health.
Lori.
I know
To
the
us.
way we work is, I pushed to get the message across.
Yeah.
So there's really no procedure.
Yeah.
When I found out, I said, I guess,
But does the school
push the
does
information
the
out.
school nurse notify us or Lori?
The state notifies
CDC.
Lori.
Oh,
Lori
so
follows
they
up
gotta
with
tell-
Lori doesn't even go to the kids.
So the school.
I mean, the school. She
School
goes right
tells
to
the
the
state.
family.
The school tells the
She goes
state.
right to the family and finds out what's going on, are you home, what's going on, what's your medication, this and that. To make sure we break the cycle of anybody that's infected still going on.
So the
Then
school
she calls
tells-
the school.
So the school tells the state calls Lori?
No, the person that goes to the hospital,
The hospital, the doctor's office.
the doctor says, it goes, oh, you have whooping cough. It automatically triggers into Maven. Maven calls us and says,
Instant.
here's a case you have to follow up with. If you had Lyme disease,
Okay.
once you have Lyme disease, your doctor's gonna say, oh, you have Lyme disease. It triggers our, something in our database
Okay.
for our nurse to go follow up with you.
It's the doctor.
And
Are
she
you
goes to
taking your
your house.
medication?
Okay.
Yeah, she goes to your house,
They go
whatever
right
it
to
is.
your house.
So she followed up with the nurse, overkill,
So
we
maybe
did.
it's not the
Yeah.
school or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I think our
It's-
office went above and
It's
beyond.
how
'cause-
quickly the state got
Yeah,
to
maybe,
Lori.
yeah.
That's all right. I'm just kind of curious where the.
Yeah,
So I pushed
it.
So did we just
So the
find out
delay
yesterday
was
when
from
we got all
probably
the
over
the
things?
state.
state.
Maybe
So
If it was a
Maybe 2 days now, I
Thursday,
don't know.
Yeah.
being a weekend,
So
it
it was
came
over
out
the
Monday.
weekend.
Yeah,
the
it's-
notification from the
we're
state.
talking like
Okay.
short.
It was Monday. We got the notification.
So when we
No,
found
not
out,
yesterday.
I said like this, push this information all the way up so it gets distributed out.
Yeah. So
Did you
could
forward that to
let
us from
know?
yesterday or Monday?
I sent you an email, but I've been looking at correspondence. I've been looking at,
So he knew it, we've known ahead of time.
yeah. It's
He
been,
sent that to us yesterday.
Yeah,
So he's,
yeah, we got it yesterday.
right, to the board, but he'd already known prior to that.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
knew, but what I'm saying is though, like, people should have known. Like as soon as the state called us, like, people should know. Not after our nurse calls and then Kevin and he sends it to us and I know everybody's working quick, but in all those days, kids could keep
No, I
getting
think
sick.
the delay was this coming from the state because
Yeah.
Lori just told you yesterday, right? Like, did she just get notified yesterday?
yeah, she showed me the thing.
So she got the notification. So our process was fine.
Oh,
It's just the
definitely.
delay from whenever the diagnosis was getting to the
But
state
even
and then
our
getting to
process
Lori.
got to us today, but have all the have all the parents been told
I
yet?
think that's tomorrow, like you
Whatever
said.
the,
Oh,
whatever
no,
the,
there's just a school email
whatever they
out
give
today,
out,
too.
whatever they give it out.
Yeah.
I don't have control over that.
No.
Oh, I'm not I'm not saying
No, I'm
you
just
did
saying,
anything
I don't,
wrong.
like I was saying, we
But-
pushed it out, but they don't have addresses. They're gonna give it out to, I don't know how they're gonna give it out to the kids. And it's gonna be, again, no panic, it's just gonna be, hey, if your child has any symptoms, go to the doctor.
The school
Yeah.
email.
Because
out
it's,
this morning.
Let 'em know there is
it's
whooping cough.
controlled, people get sick,
Yeah,
they're home,
But
but
if
they,
the school nurse knew last week, the school should have put a thing on with that reverse 911 and or whatever it's called
Yeah.
that they have and let everybody know right away.
I don't. That's why I don't know the procedure. That's why I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious.
I don't know their procedure.
Yeah.
We, like I said, we when I was informed, and they said, "Here's the recommendation," and I said, "Okay, give me that," and I said, "Send it over to them, meaning the school, and push this information out." And she's like, "Okay."
That was yesterday.
I think it was drafted. I think it was today. She put. They have all the information.
Today to send out.
Yeah, she drafted it yesterday.
Okay. Well, that was it for that.
She pretty much mirrored what the advisory says of,
From the state.
here's the symptoms. If your child has any symptoms like
Kind of like
this,
the Triple E
Yeah.
warning from the state.
almost like, yeah, almost like, hey,
everybody.
if you experience symptoms like that, you should seek medical attention instead of sitting on our hands. That's what I won't do, right?
Well, no, I'm not saying.
No, I know,
well,
I
this
know.
department did. I'm saying though, if the school knew when he knew a week ago,
Because the child was in
and
his
there's
class.
people still that might not get notified till tomorrow. This seems like that's a long time for. That's like a serious thing. It's not like a cold, like they can make an announcement in 5 minutes and let every parent in the school know. You know, we were advised until we find out what we have to do or stuff. Just be aware that, you know, because like I told my friend, I said I saw this guy in the parking lot, and we had just got the email, and I said, hey, if your kid's over there, just so you know, we just found out the schools have whooping cough in them. And he texted me back. He goes, yeah, the doctors didn't know that. He says, thanks. He says, my kid didn't have it, but thanks. And it's like, you know, so all these doctors, if they don't know, that guy probably treats 75% of the Lakeville kids. And if he didn't know, these kids could be coming in, he could be telling them, oh, it's a bronchial thing or it's a flu, and no one's telling them. Like, I just, you know,
Well, it starts out as just common cold until you get that cough. Then
Yeah.
that's telltale.
yeah, so I mean, I just, I just think if they knew a week ago, they should have sent something out a week ago, not tomorrow, and they should have notified all the parents. And whether we have any control of that or not going forward in the future, I don't know, but a week's a long time when there's something like that's being spread.
Right.
Now, did they recommend, should we post that on our website in the futures?
I don't think so.
What was
no.
their recommendation?
Pass the information along to the school.
Okay.
That was it. Again, it's more like people are being treated, our nurse is following up, they just check with their nurse. Their nurse is working on stuff, they have a physician on board for anything. And they said, they said, you should distribute this information out, right?
And see if there was a,
Almost like an advisor, if like if you,
That's what they said you should.
maybe it was,
yeah, the state
maybe it was
said, the
unofficial.
state told our nurse, like she was like, oh, I followed up with everything, they give her like a procedure. And it's like, and you should just pass this information to the school we recommend they should do this. So when she had that letter draft, I was like, yeah, push it up.
Yeah.
Send the information out.
And
Doesn't hurt.
hopefully the school sent it out to all the schools, because one kid could have a older
Right.
brother or a little sister in one of the other schools.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know.
So we did, I think we did the right thing.
Okay.
Push it out, you know?
Right.
Any other thing on your list?
Yeah. So with the temporary ban on vaping stuff,
Yeah.
I was kind of curious because that's going to be expiring. What is that? Is
Was it 4 months?
Is it 4
Right.
months?
It's January
Is it
20th?
January? Okay.
It's been already to court, but I don't think it got
Yeah.
overturned, correct?
No.
But I just
Say.
I didn't know if we wanted to talk about like eventually when it does expire. You know, one of the things they're talking about is causing this stuff is black market cartridges, and I don't know if God knows where the hell they're selling them. I don't know if we want to keep an eye out when we do our inspections, or possibly
No,
down the road.
I'm hoping they don't make it legal again, to be honest with you.
I understand that too. I'm pretty.
With the commissioner that was there today, she had mentioned something that kind of stood out. She had said, on some of those, where they looked at it, where because they're so smooth, you don't feel that effect, but she had said, some of them could be the equivalent of a pack of cigarettes in that one, in that one
Well,
cartridge thing.
the
So you could be
black-
smoking a whole pack, but because it's so smooth, you're not feeling it, but then you have these, she said, these symptoms. So they're really doing, behind the scenes, they're doing all their research, and I guess they're gonna go back before January and say, this is what we learned. They really wanna know why these people are getting so sick.
Well, the preliminary stuff is black market cartridges that have vitamin E and mineral oil in them.
Yeah.
People are vaporizing mineral E and vitamin E, and that's causing all kinds of
And the
crazy stuff.
THC too.
That's why they're black market, because they're THC ones, and the kids are buying them. God knows where, and they're cheaper than getting them at the stores or whatever. I'm just curious if there was if we wanted to talk about when our place is open again, if it does happen, at these places, do we add it to like our tobacco enforcement stuff? When whoever's going in to try and purchase stuff underage, do they ask, hey, you get anything else, type stuff? Or, I'm just curious where the black market stuff coming from. Is it just on the street, or is it in these shops? You know what I mean? You walk into a gas station, you get all that crap out on the counters. Well, a lot of stuff's probably not legal, like the CBD stuff, all the other stuff you see out there. And I'm just curious, should we
But right now they
keeping an eye on that?
I can look through the whole store when I do my inspection, but right now they're not supposed to display anything. So you can't sell and display.
Obviously, when and if it comes back.
And
It's
CBD,
something we wanted to address.
Prior to.
and CBD can't be in food as well. All these retail establishments.
Yeah.
So if I go to a store and I see gummy bears in a package, CBD, it's against the law. You can't have food products with that in there.
That stuff's everywhere. There's no guidance on it.
And actually, in 2 weeks, next Saturday, there's a conference at the Holiday Inn that
Yeah, we're gonna go.
And that is on the agenda.
It is on there?
Yeah, it's gonna
They
be good
sent
stuff.
us the agenda, that's one of the
I
tracks.
forgot about
It's
that.
all on
So maybe there
vaping.
has to be some
That's
guidance
Saturday.
that going forward too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit in on that track to get the update on the vaping.
That's right.
It's a whole 2-hour track in the afternoon.
Get any more stuff?
No, that was it.
All right, one other thing, West.
I don't know if you guys did the meeting minutes.
We did not do the meeting minutes.
I haven't read them yet, so I
We're
just
just
got
gonna
them
do an
tonight.
old business.
So if you guys are okay,
You were gonna say
do it.
Triple E?
West Nile,
Oh, Triple E.
Triple E, but there was a human case. Didn't we just get that
Oh,
on
there
email?
was actually,
Did you see that? You could email it to me.
no. But I think there was another one. I think there was more with the vaping. I'll send more
There was
information.
I just saw the news on the right here. There was a third death.
Third
Vaping
death, yeah.
stuff.
I didn't get to see the email, but during the conference, they told me there was a third death.
Yeah.
She said, look out for that email. So it's serious stuff. On the Triple E, we're waiting for that hard frost. It should be any day now. It's gotta be 28 degrees for 2 hours.
Pretty close over the weekend.
Yeah,
It was
Friday night.
2 nights in a row.
It's gotta be 28
Couple
degrees.
hours.
This
2
weekend
hours.
is gonna be cold, this
Yeah.
weekend.
But there was a human, did you see that email?
I didn't
Said
see
a
it yet.
human case, West Nile.
I could still check, but I
That
didn't
was
see
sent.
it. Yeah.
Just make people aware of that.
We can put it back on the website, but yeah, we're not out of the woods yet. I know we're close. Everybody thinks until we get that hot frost,
Fucking
it's
3
28
inches of
degrees
snow
for 2
Tuesday and
hours. What is it?
Fucking 3 inches of snow Tuesday and Wednesday. I would hope
Oh, let's hope
that
we
would
get
get
it.
rid
That
of
would
them.
kill.
I haven't seen this mosquito when I'm outside doing the perks.
Yeah, I saw a couple over the
I
weekend.
saw a few when it got really warm last Friday.
I saw a tick. I had a tick on me the other day.
All right, so just check the West
Wasn't
Nile
in this town.
and put it on the website if it's not already on there. That, I'll look at my email after.
Yeah.
Verify. All right, approval of Board of Health meeting minutes from September 18th, 2019, as typed.
Bob said he hadn't read it yet. He just
Let me see, it was all set with it.
did.
That is-
He said he hadn't read it yet.
I read it, I didn't see anything on it.
I got through part of it. I mean, if you want to table it for.
Well, this one's already we didn't have meeting for a whole month.
I mean,
This one needs to get
I went through the
approved.
majority of it. I'm fine.
This one's already back from September, and we're now,
That's what reminded me of the County Street thing. It's going through it.
so this definitely needs to get approved and hosted. So we'll wait for him to be back. And that was it, correspondence, announcements. Wanna announce the animal inspections? No.
Want me to read it?
Sure.
There's a press release, and the town of Lakeville Board of Health would like to inform town residents that the yearly animal inspections will be proceeding and will be conducted by the Lakeville Animal Inspector from now until the end of the year. And thank you from the Board of Health and our Animal Inspector Jared Darling. Okay, so I think that's it for announcements. I thought there was gonna be more benefit stuff. I'm like, oh wait, I thought we talked about the dollar amount. Look at the notes. We didn't talk about it.
Did you say that you were good with these, Bob, or you didn't read them?
I said I didn't read them, but if you guys were good with them, go ahead.
Okay, that's that part.
I just got them tonight.
Make a motion to approve Board of Health meeting minutes from September 18th, 2019 as typed.
Second, because I'll abstain, because I didn't even read them.
Second. Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Alright,
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, that was it. Motion to adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.